The Thursday edition of the JMSports Show is on the air. Hello, everybody. Jonathan Mosat here for JMSports 100 and JMSports Show. And we have a lot to get to on the program tonight. Our big retirement in sports coming up soon. The World Series is getting ugly quickly, although if you're a true baseball fan, you had to love what you saw in the game tonight. We had an NFL pick, speaking of ugly, there you go. We had a college pick, speaking of ugly, but in a good way. So there you go. Let's get right to it. And I want to kick things off, first of all, with this. I want to talk a little bit of college football. In fact, actually, before we get to any of that, I actually do not have the college record updated. I'm actually in a hurry to try to get those done right now. I actually have to get up in the morning. My sister actually made it to state for cross country, so I have to get up in the morning and go to a pep rally at the local high school here for her. So done early tonight for me. So this is kind of an early program, so I didn't really prepare for this one too well. So just kind of bear with me. I do want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, like I said, let's do the picks first, and then I want to talk about a very, very disturbing or sad situation in college football. I don't really know how disturbing it is, but it's definitely sad because it definitely ruined a future. We did take a 42-13 win in the college game. For those of you who follow me on Twitter or like the JMSports Show on Facebook, you can follow me on Twitter at the JMSports Show, and you can like me on Facebook at the JMSports Show. And I posted there what my pick was for tonight, and I posted there what my pick was for the college game as well. Clemson and Wake Forest, and I said that Clemson would. I believe the exact word I used was, I don't remember what the exact word that I used was now that I think about it, which kind of bums me out a little bit. Let's see if I can find it here. Nonetheless, they did it. 42-13 was the final for that game there. So we did get the win there. So we are 1-1 on the week. We actually picked Arkansas. We picked Louisiana Lafayette to beat Arkansas State 50-27. That did not happen. The exact word that I used was clobbered, and that's exactly what Clemson did. Clemson clobbered Wake Forest 42-13. So we are 1-1 on the week. Don't have the overall record updated. Sorry. We'll do that in a minute. 2 games for tomorrow. First of all, let's start with Nevada and Air Force. I'm going to go with Nevada in that game there. Interesting game on ESPN tomorrow night. Again, I'm looking forward to watching ESPN. Watch ESPN 8 o'clock Eastern time. Cincinnati and 16th ranked Louisville. I don't think we're going to see an upset here. I'm really excited to watch Teddy Bridgewater play. He's always a pretty exciting character to watch. 7-0 Louisville, 5-1 Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off that embarrassing loss to Toledo. No shot at Toledo, but coming off that embarrassing loss to Toledo last Saturday. I'm interested to see how Cincinnati plays. I'm going to go with Louisville. Here's the deal. Louisville is 36th in points against. They're giving up about 21.9 points per game. Points for 32.4 points per game. They're not a great passing team. They're not a great rushing team, but they're putting points on the board. Keep in mind, Cincinnati is scoring 34.7 points a game, but they are only giving up 16.8 points a game. So I think this game is going to be extremely interesting. I'm going to give Louisville the edge because it's at home. I think it's a tight ball game. Looking forward to watching it. All right, now let's get to the part that I read today. I'm sure a lot of you have as well. There was a bright future, a very bright future for a former LSU star, Tyrann Mathieu. And basically, there's been a whole lot of controversy with Tyrann Mathieu and leaving LSU and coming back to LSU. Listen, now I think it's basically set. Tyrann Mathieu will not be back to the LSU football team. He was arrested on drug charges along with Carnell Hatcher and Jordan Jefferson. So, of course, Jordan Jefferson was LSU's quarterback in the championship game last year against Bama. So, quite frankly, I think no more Honey Badger. They were related on drug-related charges. Of course, Matthew was a 2011 Heisman finalist, and it's sad. Tyrann Mathieu, a very, very talented player. I think definitely have a bright future in football. But I think now, with that, he's gonna have a hard time bouncing back from that. I'm actually looking for the name of the other guy, and I'm not sure I'm going to find it. I have his last name Bryant, but I don't have his first name. So, Bryant, Bryant wasn't much of, from what this says, and he wasn't much of a player, but he had a significant role in LSU's win over Auburn during Tyrann Mathieu's suspension that he was under. This is from ESPN.com. But it's sad because, like I said, Tyrann Mathieu had just a ton of talent, and he basically gave it up. Jordan Jefferson. I didn't think Jordan Jefferson was anything too terribly special, but Tyrann Mathieu definitely really tore up what was probably a bright future in football. Let's talk now a little bit of Major League Baseball. Madison Bumgarner and the Giants take a 2-0 lead. I did watch the game. They take a 2-0 lead on Detroit with a 2-0 win. You cannot say really enough about Bumgarner and about Fister. Really, collectively, Bumgarner pitched really, really well. He needed this. Bumgarner's confidence was a little bit wavered. Bumgarner has been hit really, really hard in the postseason. He went, in his first postseason start, he went 4 1/3, giving up 7 hits, 4 runs, including a home run and a walk. And then his second time out, which was against St. Louis in the championship series, 3 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 homers, only 2 strikeouts, gave up 7 walks. He needed a good game today, and he got it. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, only 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. So that right there, 8 ground balls, 5 fly balls. He needed that, and he got it. He pitched really, really well. Meanwhile, on the other side, Doug Fister, because the scores didn't actually come out until real late. Doug Fister, as well, on the other side, had a pretty good going of it. Doug Fister has become quite the player. 6 innings today, 4 hits. He did give up 1 run, only 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, but only the 4 hits. Both these pitchers pitched really well. It was a well-pitched ball game. Scary moment when Doug Fister actually took a ball off the side of the head. He was okay, was able to stay in the game, but scary moment there, to say the least. So the Giants take a 2-0 lead. Like I said, it was a good game, a really well officiated game, umpire-wise. Pretty tough calls. Fielding Colbreth had a very tough call to make at first base. He made it correctly. There was a Prince Fielder out at the plate call that was made correctly. It was a bang play. And that was just some good umpire, and the umpires were definitely, and Tim McIver and Joe Buck said on the telecast, they were definitely on it today. Next game, we're not off tomorrow, but Tigers and the Giants are game 3 of the series. The series goes back to Detroit. Ryan Vogelsong goes up against Anibal Sanchez. Those are the probable pitching matchups. If San Francisco wins that one, they can put it away on Sunday. Matt Cain, Max Scherzer. If everything goes the way that Major League Baseball probably hopes it does, and goes to a and makes it to next Wednesday, we're going to see again a rematch of tonight. Doug Fister and Madison Bumgarner. I think that'd be something that I would definitely be looking forward to seeing. They said it on the telecast, and I agree with it. I think weather is going to play a little bit of a factor now, because we're going from sunny California to cold and snowy Michigan. I can tell you, being from Wisconsin, it is miserable. It has been rainy here the last few days. There's been a little bit of snow today. So the conditions are miserable, and it is supposed to be a not great weekend, kind of a miserable weekend in Michigan this weekend. So the Tigers can definitely try to make up some ground on the Giants, who are used to the nice, warm Bay weather. I don't even really want to talk NFL. We took a bad one. We took it on the chin. I do have that record updated. Like I said, we took it badly on the chin to start out Week 8. Tampa Bay 36-17 on Minnesota. Adrian Peterson did have a rushing touchdown. Doug Martin, running back for Tampa Bay, went crazy, 135 yards, 262 passing yards for Josh Freeman as well. I just saw a little bit of the highlights, and it looks like there was some fighting between Jared Allen and possibly another player. I wasn't able to watch the game, so I'm actually watching a little bit of highlight on SportsCenter right now. And my stepfather is actually at that game tonight, so I will maybe try to hit him up later and get a little more on what was going on there. We're coming off of a great week. Hoping that we don't have a bad week now, because we had a good week last week. Of course, we went undefeated, 13-0 in the straight-up picks. Didn't start the week out too well this week for either side, and I will make a comment about that in a second. 71-35 on the year, 370 and 214 lifetime straight up. 43 and 42 against the spread for the year and for a lifetime. I've noticed something, and this is something that I need to start doing for the last few weeks if there are of this Thursday night stuff. And this is something that I noticed the trend, and then I didn't think anything of it, and then ESPN said something, and then I'm like, I follow Adam Schefter very closely on Facebook, and he said something about it, and I started thinking about it, and it was true. On the short week, teams just are not performing as well. So your best bet is going to always be to take the points. Whatever the spread is, unless the spread is really low. And thinking about it now, I look back at it and I'm like, man, I'm stupid, because Tampa Bay is a rough and tough physical football team, and that showed. And from what it looks like, they got in Tampa Bay's face. By the way, this is I'm going to steal this from ESPN. This is the Buccaneers' first win in their last 10 road games, so it was something that they really, really needed. Listen, I like Tampa Bay's culture. I don't know, it took me a while to like Greg Schiano, but Greg Schiano has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing really, really tough football, and that makes for it's going to make for an interesting time to come. I want to make one more comment. I feel like I'm forgetting to do something. I feel like there was something that I wanted to do. But I'm going to go with this for now, and if it comes to me, it comes to me. Normally I write down what I'm going to do and have my segments ready and stuff today. If not, sorry. Let's see. I want to talk about Warren Moon. Why? Well, if you just asked me why, then apparently you're living under a rock. Warren Moon has been a big defender of Cam Newton. On the other night's program, I was not a defender of Cam Newton. In fact, I was a big-time ripper of Cam. And he had said that, and I'm not going to go get the quote, Warren Moon basically said that this was a racial issue. Race. Jay Cutler doesn't take that kind of heat. No. But you know what the funny thing is? Warren Moon made those comments after what I had said about Cam Newton on the show the other night. And I said on the show, and I'll repeat it here. The difference is, Cutler wins. Cutler goes out and wins games. Cutler doesn't sulk. You don't see him on the sidelines with a towel over his head and him just... You don't see Cutler doing that. It's not a racial issue. Can we get over that? Yes, there is still race in the society, but race is not as big of a factor as it once was. Okay, everybody pokes at race all the time. Alright, I got a comment on one of my videos on the other channel, the King H940 channel, that I had the other day about a food review that I did that said only white people would do food reviews. Really? Anyway, listen, can we stop with everything being a race issue? It's not a race issue. It's the fact that he can't win. He can't. I mean, okay, Cam Newton has kept them in games, but listen, I'm going to give you some names, and I want you to decide who gets more criticism, okay? And I'm going to go with African American versus Caucasian people here. Who gets more heat? Cam Newton or Tony Romo? Who gets more heat? Cam Newton or Mark Sanchez? There you go. I'm not saying that African Americans don't take heat. It's not a race issue, Warren, and you should know that because you played the position. The issue is quarterback is one of the biggest, in fact it is the biggest position in sports. It's the most highly criticized position in all of sports. Why? Because to be honest, it's probably the most important position in all of sports, in all of the NBA, in all of Major League Baseball, in all of football. That's why it's an issue. It's got nothing to do with race. It's got to do with his attitude. When you're cocky as he is, the whole Superman thing, it's annoying. Okay? It's a race issue. No, if it was a race issue, then all African American quarterbacks would take heat. I don't hear RG3 taking any heat. Okay? Yes. Quarterbacks take heat. It doesn't matter if you're African American or if you're Caucasian. Quarterbacks take heat. Brett Favre took heat. Tom Brady at times takes heat. It's got nothing to do with your color. It's got to do with your ability. This isn't the 1950s anymore. Race does not play as big of a role as it once did in this society. Are there still racist people out there? Yes. Are there still racist sports fans out there? Sure. Are there probably some people who criticize Cam Newton because he's African American? Sure. But I think the biggest majority of Cam Newton's criticism is because of his playing ability. It's got nothing to do with his color, and that bothers me. That the whole everything is a racial issue. That's always bothered me. I've had it in my life personally, where people have said, "Well, you feel that way because I'm African American, or because my kids are African American," and I say no. That's not why I feel that way. I'm not racist. Okay, ultimately, when I look at any type of athlete, I want to see a good athlete. If Cam Newton lived up to his potential, didn't make the mistakes that he made, was competitive, and didn't sulk as much, because there's a difference there, I'd be fine with him. I want to see good athletes. I want to see Cam Newton perform well. I want Cam Newton to entertain me. I want Cam Newton to entertain me. That's why I would rather see the Yankees and the Cardinals in the World Series. Okay? The Tigers and the Giants, that one's fine. I want to see stars. Okay, I'm not going to watch the Memphis Grizzlies play the Utah Jazz this year. Okay? I'm going to watch the Lakers play on opening night. Okay, I'm going to watch the Heat play as much as I can. I'm going to watch the Lakers play as much as I can. You want to see stars. Fans want to see stars. That's where the criticism comes in. They want to see a star. They want to be entertained. It's got nothing to do with race or any of that. Now, I'm probably going to get heat for this. I'm probably going to get heated on. You don't know what you're talking about. It is a racial issue. No, it's not. No, it's not. I can sit here all day long and do comparisons of who takes more heat. Or who takes heat. Okay? It goes both ways. It really does. One final comment to make that I'm going to close things out, and I know that there's a lot of people that are rejoicing over this. I am not yet. I'm interested to see where things go. It was announced today that after 2000 and basically after this season, the NBA will have a new commissioner. Early 2014, David Stern will retire. The date is set, and the date for it is February 1st, 2014. Who's going to take its place? Well, for those of you who haven't heard, I'm going to tell you. Deputy Commissioner Adam Silver will take his place. I'm interested to see how that goes. But listen, I know there's a lot of people that don't like David Stern. There's a lot of people that rip David Stern. But what a lot of people don't realize is what David Stern has done for the game of basketball. Yes, I realize that he has not made all the best decisions in the world. But you know what? Let's look at it. What ultimately is probably the best run American sports league? The NFL. Let's look at the NHL and Gary Bettman. How's that doing? If you had to pick David Stern, I'm going to call him Howard Stern just a minute ago, but sorry if I did that. If you had to pick David Stern and Gary Bettman, who would you pick? If you had to pick David Stern and Bud Selig, who would you pick? Listen, now I like Bud Selig, but if I had to pick, I'd definitely pick David Stern. David Stern has turned the NBA around. David Stern has brought the NBA back from pretty much death. Okay? Colin Cowherd has said this many times, and listen, when I say something, I've got no problem giving people the credit that say it. I don't steal much of my stuff. If I do steal something, I guess, I give credit for it. Colin Cowherd has said this many, many times. This is something I was not aware of until he had said it. Back in, I believe it was early 90s, late 80s, the finals, the NBA playoffs were on tape delay. David Stern has brought the NBA back and made it a watchable product. Okay, now there's not as much parity in the NBA right now as there is in the NFL. Okay, you don't have as many teams. There's a lot. I think there's plenty more teams in the NFL that can win the Super Bowl this year than there is NBA teams that can win the NBA title. But still, speaking of which, I just want to make a quick comment. NBA starts really soon. I believe it's Tuesday, so NBA picks will be coming. You can see the first debut of NBA picks on Monday's show. Let me just look really quickly here and make sure that that's when they are is Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday, October 30th is the start of the NBA. There's a doubleheader on TNT. Can't wait to watch Boston and Miami. Can't wait to watch the Celtics. Can't wait to watch the Heat. Can't wait to watch the Lakers and the Mavs. Mavs, I believe, will not have Dirk Nowitzki. So, can't wait to watch that. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the start of the NBA season. I'm really looking forward to watching the Lakers. Hopefully Kobe gets to play. It was unknown whether or not that Kobe would be able to play for sure. And then one more quick note, college basketball picks. We are going to return back to those. I've set a date for starting those. November 9th. Friday, November 9th is when we're going to start those. So I believe that is 2 weeks from tomorrow. Am I correct in that? Yes, I am. That is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So basically 2 weeks from tonight, I'll be making my first college basketball picks. I'm going to do it just like I did last year. All the top 25 picks, all the top 25 games, and then games that can be seen on stations like ESPNU, the Pac-12 Network, Pac-10, Big Ten Network, stuff like that. So, alright, that is how I'm going to do that, guys. I'm getting a little long-winded here. I need to eat. I haven't eaten yet. I don't feel good, so I'm going to eat something, go to bed, got to get up in the morning, like I said, to ship my sister out to state. I will be back tomorrow night for the JMSports Show. I'm not going to go to state with her because I have something else going on this weekend. So I will be back for a JMSports Show tomorrow night. Also, NFL picks will be up tomorrow. Going to be a little bit later than usual. Because of the pep assembly that I have to go to. So they'll be up later tomorrow, but they will be up. And don't forget, we are going with Nevada. A little shaky, but going with Nevada over Air Force, but I'm going to do that. And going with Louisville and Cincinnati. Louisville and Cincinnati is going to be a good football game. Also, I will have records updated officially and stuff too. Alright guys, that is going to do it for me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, or Friday, or whatever day you're watching this. And that's going to do it for me, guys. I am out of here. I am John Rosette for JM Sports 100 and the JM Sports Show. I will see you tomorrow on the finally Friday edition. See you then.